Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Well, let's get to it, I guess. Um, Today I'm just gonna be doing stuff that's, I think, I can't even remember if I did a stream kind of about this whole brainstorming thing, and I'm just continuing on with more stuff I'm doing for this Cyberpunk cinematic thing that I've been trying to do. Um, right now I've been trying to do this like strange nightclub scene and getting the keyframes for that. So hopefully, I think I'm gonna convert to doing something else for a little while, just because I don't know some of the things. Even though there's not any nudity or anything like that, but I feel like some of the stuff might be TOS. I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna put certain frames in there, but I think for the most part, yeah, especially that one. I don't know. That one might be TOS. This one is what I did the other day, creating these whole scenes, and I do my same process, create keyframes like this one here, inside of this is Flux Crea, I believe. It's a mix. Sometimes I start off with just Flux Dev, and then I go to Flux Crea, and then I just do all these weird things in my brainstorming thing, which is what this is. I reverted back. I put the switch controls in here, but I still haven't got it to the point where I really like it. But you can see, like, I overwhelm this thing with Laura sometimes, ticking them on and off. But yeah, I go through my brainstorming process, just doing a few here. Slightly lower resolution. I always go higher. This is actually the resolution output I'm going to do in the video, 1280 by 720, which is recommended for WAN 2.2, and I upscale it to 1080p HD, and then from that upscaled higher resolution image I create other types of images, or the keyframe that I start with when I'm doing these workflows. Let me not look at that one. The keyframe that I start with is always an HD, but then I convert it to this, and then when I want to do the test runs just to see what they're gonna look like before I actually do the whole thing. Well, maybe I should take dolly shot, because sometimes I do dolly shots off the negative. When I do the test runs, I just take this down by like 2, which is probably what I'm gonna do this whole time. I'm not gonna run in to do the higher resolutions, mainly because it'll take too long. And yeah, that'll be like half the stream just to get like one output, because this is the higher resolution, I believe. Yeah, and this is without frame interpolation and all this kind of stuff to make it look even better. And you can see I go like up to 20 steps. If you do it for anything shorter than 20 steps, or all these other types of things, the quality gets degraded a little bit. It gets really good quality at like 20 steps and above, but of course it takes longer. And then I take down the lure that helps you speed it up. I take it down significantly just to get a lot more, again, quality going to it. So again, it's hit or miss with what you can do with what you have. So that's basically what I'm going to be going over, and I think now I want to focus. I'm probably going to continue the club scene later, again, because of the nature of the content that's created. But I am going to shift into doing stuff that's more or less about what I want to do. Hopefully this doesn't do anything, like drug scene or something like that, and I'm gonna like just snatch like random images off of like a Google search, and I might just like get it to prompt and see how well I can pull this off, because I don't know, like, because I'm thinking about a dystopian world, and what is the stuff that happens in a type of dystopian metropolis where there's nothing but city everywhere, you know, the whole concrete jungle thing. So yeah, we're just gonna go from there and try to make my prompts accordingly. But every now and again, what I do like to do is keep the prompts as is and just see what happens when I throw in some random thing like this and see what it'll do to it. So, because this is where the I guess you could say happy accidents occur. So this is where I was using before. I'm gonna put this here. Boom, just like that. Who knows what it's gonna come up with based upon this, but I'm gonna use it as a source image. So this prompt is describing a club scene. Like, it's not related to this image as a reference, and I'm gonna allow it to go a little bit higher with the resolution. So basically what's happening right here is this is a reference image thing. Usually I just take one of these, like what I'll do is I'll just snatch one of these and then just like dump it into here, and then I'll allow it to use that same prompt that I did to generate them, which is what this first pass area is right here. If I turn it on, and then it'll generate them, and then I'll take that, and then if I want to modify them, especially since I want to get the higher resolution size, this makes it higher resolution, but then I take it through the sampler again to make sure it actually goes through the latent rendering process, and then I make a new image. So this prompt was based upon generating this club scene. So it's not related to what I'm gonna do, which is this, you know, overdose thing, whatever, with like law enforcement. And I probably should just try to snatch this. I could run another workflow, but I'm gonna just have, I'm just gonna do like something similar to this. I'm gonna have ChatGPT just describe this as a flux prompt. This is gonna be for after I run it. So as a matter of fact, let me just run it right now to just see what it comes up with. Well, I really do like this one. This is one I really I want to at least do one run through of like what this would look like animating this, because I think this really looks cool. Anyways, yeah, let's just run it. Let's push up the denoise a little bit so it can really has an opportunity to make some alterations to this image. And yeah, let's go with that. So I'm gonna, while it's doing that, which shouldn't take that long, I'm gonna have ChatGPT describe this. Oh, I was not describe this image as a flux prompt. Urban alley scene with chaotic graffiti cover. Whoa, emergency responders. Like it looks at them like they're paramedics. Although I don't think. Oh, maybe they are paramedics. Oh crap! Oh my God! AI is better at identifying it than I am. Would you like to adapt this to a cyberpunk reinterpretation? It knows. I've been asking for that so much. Yes, I would. A cyberpunk reinterpretation of flux prompt. Okay, I'm not even gonna bother reading. I'm just gonna. I am just gonna just copy and paste. Keep this grounded, gritty cyberpunk realism, or push it towards surreal dystopian dreamscape. I don't know. You know what? Let's just see what it says. I'm gonna take both. And I'll take the original here. Oh my God, would you like to extend this into a wanted story-driven video? What? I haven't even been doing that. It just knows where I want to go with this. That's crazy. I haven't even been telling it to describe any of my video prompts. I don't trust it anyways. It's like, even these descriptions sometimes, like, I have to edit them so much because they're not really good at being spot on of what you're talking about. Okay, so this is what it did. So put a woman in there that's dancing. Of course, that makes sense. I don't know. This is, I don't know what's going on here. It's interesting. Let me run that again. Yeah, but it's not. It's totally unrelated. Maybe if I turn down the denoise just a little bit. I don't know what's going on, but I do think it's interesting though to see how like the prompt and the image have nothing to do with each other, and see how it like smashes them together. Is like kind of crazy. And I'm using Flux Crea on this. I don't know if I said that. This is not actually just Flux. I don't even know if it would need to have a different wording for something like that. Anyways, let's just go with what it said. So this is definitely, all of this stuff is me editing it. Usually they will never give me a prompt that long. That's me asking for specifics. And that was for that bikini thing, which I'm not using. Mask faces master. I don't even know if this is not interior. Nightclub. It is not a nightclub. I don't think I'm using robot skin right now, but maybe later. Masked faces. I will be using. Let's try Space Knights. And so yeah, a lot of these are on Civet AI. I won't be looking up stuff on Civet AI, mainly because I don't know what's gonna pop up on the screen. Cause yeah, you know, if you've been on Civet AI, you know that there's possibility for everything. So yeah, there's a lot of these that are they're on there, like the Android hyper realism thing is kind of cool, and working side by side with Flux Crea when I'm like mashing all these things together kind of helps bring back that quality that's not so, I don't know, painterly or plastic looking if you're going for that. Because right now I'm shooting for something that's almost like video quality with these types of adaptations or whatever. So yeah, these frames don't mean anything at all. They look strange. So I'm just gonna cut that out. And let's do this. Go back to your in-paint option. Take off the fashion thing, and let's let's do no prompts for right now. Well, not all of them. Let's do none and just see what it does off of that. Oh, I'm not doing this right at all. I should probably run the first pass while I'm doing this too, just to see what it does with the prompt and see how far off this is from this thing, or not. I'm sorry, this from the actual prompt that it gave. Because again, ChatGPT is hit or miss. I'm not always a fan of what it does, but it saves time when I do that. But while we're looking at this, let's see what we have available here. Oh yeah, that's right. One day I'm gonna be good at this streaming thing where I don't have to like constantly like look at what I'm doing on the other screen, which is telling me what's up. Not that one. Not that one. Where's the regular full screen? Okay, this thing. Okay, so yeah, a lot of these are the frames that I've already done that are for the video itself. And let me turn down this background music. I don't know if it's loud or not. Can't ever tell. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I've already done is back here. This actual particular one, I need to do some frame interpolation on this one, but I think it's relatively good. I don't think I took that one in particular. I think I took another one. I can't remember which one it is though. There's so many of these. Actually, I have it in the video editor already. Those might have been samples. I don't think those were the ones I was going to use. That's the other stuff, blah, blah, blah. This is something else I was doing to create a zoom effect that I didn't wind up using, but the same kind of concept of like controlling the camera by using literally the control video node in Juan Vase. But I think it's in Juan Vase. How many others? There's Juan Vase. It's in the Juan Vase the video node. Okay, yeah. There's one in Juan Vase. Wherever you see these little control video things, you can do this thing I'm trying to explain here. One image to video does not have it. One is that SVG. Isn't SVG sound in any image? Yes, it has it too. So the one where you can have those like talking heads, you can still control it via that. I kind of did it already, I think, in that video tutorial on this channel. And there's one more that I'm thinking. One Fun. Yeah, One Fun Control has it too. If you have, anytime you have this control video thing, you can put in some type of like depth map or uncanny or whatever type thing to try to help control that. But it usually only works for like very simple things that you want to do. However, hey, Jason King, hey, what's up? Actually, right on time. That's exactly what we were talking about. Me and this guy in the chat right now, Jason King. Yeah, we were actually talking about camera control, and the different things that you have to do to try to make it controlled to a point where you can actually get it to exactly what you want to do. And to be honest, there's only so much you can do like via the prompt, and even with this method that I'm talking about, it's limited because when you're trying to control the video itself, the problem is a lot of times it becomes too dominant, this method, and so it wants to ignore everything else and just do exactly what you're saying here. So, and then I want, like, if I could put like a weight type of node in between this to like control how much influence it has, that would be nice too. But it still can't do it as specifically as something else. So what Jason, who was in the chat, was talking to me about earlier on Discord, and how do I put that in? Let me actually put that in the chat. We'll put the Discord link in the chat. Hold on a second here. Let me see. I get that Discord link. How do I get the stuff to... Man, I'm so bad at this. Is it here? Invite people. I want the link that's already available. That's what it is. I can't remember where it is. I gotta look at my Patreon or whatever. Anyways, I'll put it in later, I think. But we were talking about how controlling it via something. He was talking about, it was something with coordinates, and he was using, what's it called? Control co something. I was looking at it earlier. I didn't have a chance to like really do it the way I wanted to do it. Anyways, this thing where you basically you create like coordinates, and it allows you to control where the actual movement of a character, the camera, actually moves throughout the actual image itself. And I think that was one of those Facebook research ones. I'm pretty sure that's what it was under. And I also came across this. I meant to ask you, Jason, whether or not you were utilizing something that like has this ATI any trajectory instruction controllable thing, because this is kind of like that thing, but of course you can see that. And again, I could do that with a video editor thing, that kind of zoom like that, but it's similar, I think, to this, but it's not quite this one. And that's where I was like kind of getting confused. So I think it's called something like, because I saw it on GitHub. I don't know if I had the window still open. That's the Fusion pipe. And this is something I was trying to reinstall. But can I just search here? This is gonna search it inside of here, which I don't want it to be inside this repo. I want it to be, what was it, oh my god, I can't remember. Code Tracker, that's what it is, Code Tracker. Yeah, it's this thing or something. Is it this one? Yeah, like this thing. But yeah, this kind of would help solve that issue. But utilizing it, trying to figure out how to implement it. I don't think there might be I think he was doing it via the Kajai nodes that he was like putting it inside of his workflow. But that's one thing I wanted to work on. But I literally at this point know like practically zero information about it. This is the prompt. This is daytime. I need this to happen at night. I don't want it in daytime. Wait, Roswell City. At night. And I was gonna put that up here too. Night. And this is probably, yeah, that's not even doing the first pass thing. But yeah, trying to utilize the camera control is one of the things that is going to take this from just being like something you mess around with to like actually getting it to like what I think a lot of people want to do with is like really like cinematic quality, because then you can do it at a specific thing. So hopefully me and, is it Jason or just Jason? Hopefully we can just keep going back and forth and figure it out. And again, I think it'll be easier if we talk about that stuff in Discord too, because people can also see like what we're doing or talking about at the same time. Although I do like to just get on the voice chat a lot of times because it's easier to just talk about stuff sometimes than it is to constantly go back and forth typing. But on this one, I think it was actually, man, I have to show this other one, even though it might be TOS, just to talk about what I'm talking about. So this one, I was literally at a low angled shot, and then I told it to go to an aerial point of view, and that helps control the thing. So it says it right here. It didn't rotate like I was thinking though. So the camera tilts and rotates is what I said, from a low angle view to an aerial view looking down at the central figure. But I also think because I had this thing where I wanted her to lick the side of her face or something like that in there, towards the end, that's where it's like it does this thing where it pays attention to that thing that you last said. And that's what I've noticed with WAN 2.2 and even WAN 2.1. The last thing you say is like what it's kind of wants to end off with. Because I always do the and then format. Like you do this and then this. So it happens like that action happens one after the other. Or if I want something to happen simultaneously, I always say like meanwhile this is happening. So I'll know that it's going to be simultaneous. So, you know, this, as you can see, this prompt can get pretty long. But I also have been utilizing this where it's, I don't know, why is this in here like this? Oh, this is some stupid error. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, can we reload this now? Yeah, what the heck is that? I've been using the FP16. The floating point 16 thing is, again, I'm trying to figure out a great way to say this without getting to a long technical thing. But whenever you're talking about these floating point numbers, you know, versus like quote unquote, I guess integer values. Integer values, again, I don't want to talk about math too much, but integer values are basically just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't have decimal points or anything like that. The floating point numbers have decimal points, and basically, imagine it's more you have, instead of 8 decimal places, it's not just decimals though, but 8 digits of how it's recorded as a number inside of your memory space. Instead of having it utilizing that many in like binary, and binary is like 0 and 1s, right? Instead of using that many, it uses 16, which is double 8, right? So you have double the precision that you would have versus 8. And the 8 is what we call like truncated, which is like it's shortened. So imagine if you could describe something. Oh, the best way to even talk about this, pixels, right? If you have half the amount of pixels to create an image, right, you get half the quality. Versus if you have double the amount, you'll get double the amount of information you can get to how many colors that you can actually show up inside of an image, right? By doing stuff like that, you can get better quality, and that works as well with just even like what this is about, which is the direction of how it listens to what you're saying. So by doing it that way, you can get it to pay attention more. That's why I'm using the FP16. It pays attention a little bit more to the prompting, a lot better, because it has more precision to it. And of course, it's the same thing with this. I'm using FP16 with the image as well to do the same thing as far as like the quality of the image output. So when you're thinking about that, right, especially when your final work and images and stuff like that, that's where it becomes important. But I also do this with the test runs. Again, like I'm gonna be running this at, this is half the size of the actual output that I want. So when I'm running it at half the size, I can get it to move a little bit faster, but I also keep the steps about the same thing. I keep the seed, you notice I keep all this fixed on the seeds, right? I keep the steps about the same despite the fact that I've lowered the resolution, because it will make it still kind of act the same way, very similar to that way. So it still takes a certain amount of time, again, because it is still 20 steps, but it'll be a lot less at, you know, half the resolution, because it has half the data to try to, like, you know, render in this whole process. So that's, I think, one of the technical things that I do all the time. Like, if you don't do the test run thing, you know, you could be wasting a lot more time, you know, from like, okay, it doesn't pay attention to this that much, you know, maybe it'll pay attention to it a little bit more. Like I think I have like examples of this in the Discord, like the earlier versions of this, right, where I did this, it pays attention a little bit. This is before I took it off the whole where I did it still like she's holding a selfie stick, which you can put in the prompt, and 1.2.2 recognizes that. I don't know if 1.2.1 did, because I never tried it in 1.2.1. But when I took it off that, and then I just made the camera kind of static, it did this kind of thing. So I had an idea of what the actions of what they were going to do. This is the lower resolution version of it, until it got to the point of like this one where it's higher resolution, and yeah, you can see like this is actually a higher thing. And when it did that, you know, I added that one part again where they're like the little kiss at the end part. But those types of things help you get an idea of what it's going to produce before it actually does anything. And also I added in that the text on the top of the little goggles thing. So there's a lot of stuff you can do if you just taper it back a little bit, figure out, again, the test runs. Even when I'm doing all of these different things for the keyframes, again, all of this stuff is literally test runs. So I'm trying to see what it's going to produce at a slightly lower resolution. I'm just going to run this again. What happened here? Oh my God. Oh, this is what I hate about asking ChatGPT for like a freaking Cyberpunk prompt. It always throws drones in there. Just like, it just assumes that it's always a freaking, what is it gonna say, oppressive drones? It always says that. Where is it? I know it says it in here somewhere. Scanning drones. Like not everything needs a drone in there. And it's so annoying. That's why you can't ask like AI to produce everything for you all the time, because it has a tendency to do the same thing over and over again. It's like, be original. Come on. It's not there yet. There's also this problem right now I've noticed with like bodies laying down, and Flux is not good at it. I'm probably gonna try to see what Quinn can do with this, but I haven't really messed with Quinn too much. But when bodies lay down, they get like crazily disfigured, which maybe is not bad for a cyberpunk scene. But I just realized that like that's not what I'm going for. But anyways, I always go through this process right here where I do like these keyframes. Can I do this? Maybe there's a scale of things here somewhere. I don't know where it is. The newer version always so difficult for me to understand stuff like this. There was this thing where I could expand this out, but I can't remember where it is on the newer version of this. Anyways, like all of these are like lower resolution versions. Let me see if I can get past all of that. Yeah, I want to do this one. This is a higher resolution version, but I wouldn't want to do this like Devil Mask, because I'm going to revisit the club scene. And okay, yeah, so this is before. I was going to use this one too, because it has like this weirder version of the thing. I guess you could say TFT or LCD screen was like built in on her forehead. But I wanted to get a little bit more surreal with everything. So I had all these other faulty ones. I guess you could say the false positive, I guess you could say. I don't know. Like where it looks like really crappy. But this is, to me, is very important. Again, I think of it like a more of an artistic point of view, but these smaller things just give you a basic idea of like what it's supposed to look like before it actually happens. I think it's very important. That looks so crazy. um, and then just realizing too, like stuff like how cartoony it's gonna look versus whether I wanted to go for something that look more realistic, and continuously like just going back and forth and like trying to see where I could push each type of image or whatever to get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I think that's really important to the process. And though it's a little bit like meticulous and kind of like, you know, perfectionism thing, it also makes it so that way you're not wasting too much valuable time on one particular image that maybe is going to look like you want it to look and maybe it's not. There's something cool about this, even though I know it's in daytime because it's really basing everything based upon this image. But I'm gonna, again, another thing I like about this is I can take one of its outputs and turn it into the input. So now I can just slowly turn into something else. Look at this. That's actually pretty cool. That drone I'm okay with. This one on the ground I'm okay with. But okay, and this is without any of the Laura's on there. That's just Flux Crea. But there's a lot of like things you can do if you just start off with these little small things. And then there's also this stuff here where I keep forgetting this. Like I use the flux context to like push up colors when it starts to get drained out like certain things. I just tell it to saturate the colors in the scene, and then I just take that right back into this part again, just to see if I can pull out the stuff that I really want to pull out in it. So I have all of these workflows are all also on the Patreon, by the way. But well, except for this one. This one, well, no, I do have a version of this. This exact version because I've added in the switch control thing for inpainting, which I barely use. But a version of this is on Patreon, the earlier version. But I know it's really confusing because I made this workflow specifically for me. I wasn't planning on releasing, but I just did because it was in that, you know, why you should always upscale video that I made on YouTube. But yeah, it's hard to organize this in a way that makes a lot of sense, just because it's a brainstorming workflow. Like the Flux workflow for brainstorming, image, like it's just everything that I need to just keep like working with these, you know, random ideas and keep trying to like push one idea to the next. This one I like a little bit. I just like the basis of it. Of course, this guy looks weird. Like he's not like, why is this guy looks like maybe a medical officer. This guy, maybe he's a trainee. He doesn't have his helmet yet. I don't know. He doesn't. These guys don't look like they're supposed to be there. It's like, you guys are too close. And these guys look like guards. Like, what is the prompt saying? I didn't actually read this. Glowing visors, name looks like a collapsed figure. Administering aliens, blah blah blah. Broken tech scattered across the pavement. An armored uniform. Okay. How about this? 2 cybernetic. Like, so that we don't have, okay, implants. Bystanders, anxious bystanders, and patch streetwear. Watching in from the shadows in the background because they're too close, man. The neon signs overhead. Neon with buzzing neon signs overhead. And a digitized. Oh my god. What did you do? A digitized HUD of, I don't know, text information. Text text box. This is in light blue. Near one of the cybernetic paramedics. Raw, gritty realism infused with futuristic technology. Ugh, this thing needs like paragraph indentation because it's like it's all together. Flickering AR tags, glowing holographic graffiti. And right now, you know, again with the way I've inputted stuff, the image to image thing is not that great. So this one next is it's not that bad. I just think that maybe these guys are okay. This guy's a little too close, but he could be one of this guy. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start working with these a little bit more rather than working with the initial image. I might not even needed to drop that in there, but I just did it anyways. But you know, I really highly recommend, you know, if not using the workflow on my Patreon, like creating a workflow like this that's literally just about brainstorming, because it'll help everything else. Because once you get the frames you like, and I got tons of frames, then it's just a matter of just, you know, plug and play. Like, do that, figure out how you want it to move with, you know, whatever video workflow you got, and then just go from there. And I think I'm just gonna like, I want something that looks decent. I could just take one of those club frames because I really want to animate this one. This one I think is really good, and because where's the previous version of this? The one before it was fully developed. I think it was this one. I just got this frame again. This was in one of that first pass of batch of images. I was like, yeah, this is really good. Even with this not being fully like developed, this still looks like really good, just as a good keyframe. And I just upped it to like 1080p, and then just put that, you know, through the latent image thing again. And though this is not really clear, I still feel like it'll work. I don't know what's gonna happen over here, but this looks really crystal clear. This guy is like some weird like Mr. Real, and the fact that she's dancing with him, I think is so freaking funny. It's like this guy is like, he's got all the riz, bro. Whatever this like gizmo guy is. But this one I really like. It's like something really classic about it, and I want to really just see what this would look like. I'm gonna drop this in here. I don't know what it would do again, because right now none of this, what it's talking about, is in reference to this, so it would probably go haywire. Sometimes I like to see that, but usually not with video, because it's like a waste of time. Even if it is like the, how you say, quick version of doing this, I wouldn't want to do that with this, because yeah, I would want to actually get something that really pays attention to it. So I know it seems like a little ADD, which I kind of am, because I'm going back and forth between this thing and then trying to see what this other scene is doing, but it also gives me something to do. So I'm not just sitting here waiting, and it allows me to build the scene in different ways. Okay, so now that I said like two of those guys instead of that, and then it pushes the other guys in the background a little bit more, which is what it should do. It looks a little bit better, so I do like that. Wow, now this one's starting to look good. I kind of like this one. It's just too bright. So something like this, I might actually just, I will take this, all right, and then put this in flux context and then tell it to do exactly as this. Or I'll tell it to, how you say, darken change the scene to night. Something like that. Or I'll tell it like to darken the image slightly or something like that to try to get this to where it should be. Again, this is why like I love this little panel down here so I can just easily drag and drop stuff. But like this whole thing where you can go back and forth is like really cool about getting things done, especially when you're brainstorming. Oh, got a jet. Hopefully you get this one. Hey, yeah, thanks for dropping by, man. I know it's kind of difficult for your time zone, Jason, but I appreciate you just dropping in. Hey, let's talk more about that on Discord too. If you find some more stuff, I'm gonna try to like work with your workflow, see if I can modify it too, and just keep like going back and forth, trying to figure out how to get better camera control too. I appreciate that a lot, and I'm really open to like the whole collaboration process. Have a good morning, night. I think it's night. Yeah, night over there. Have a great night over there. But yeah, what was that? Yeah, having like these type of workflows that can like work off of each other, and I think it's a lot better when they're not in the same workflow too, because again, you have less of a chance of getting that black screen thing and having to negotiate like where you're moving all the time within like the workflow. If it's all in like one workflow, if they're different workflows, they're already like mapped out what they're supposed to do. So it's literally just drag and drop. It already knows what it's supposed to do, and it's totally separate from the other thing. All I gotta do is when I switch over to here, I just clear out the VRAM, unload the models, which is basically these two buttons here, and then a lot of times I just do clean VRAM for like quote unquote a safety, and then boom, just start again. Just press play, and it's already ready. It adds a little bit of layer of efficiency to what you're doing, but it also makes it like really easy to go back and forth with ideas and keep continuing forward with whatever you're doing. See, I like these little glowing hand things too. Is that in the prompt somewhere? Like, what is that? I don't even know if that's administering aid with luminous medical injection. Okay. Okay, this should be a different freaking sentence. Oh my God, this is so difficult to read. Freaking computer speak. Okay, this is higher definition. So this is that guy on the side. This is that. Oh, you know why? This would be a digitized 3D, not hashtag D, 3D holographic. That'll make it like float in midair, and it won't be like it'll be more like this other output that I had in, where is it? Oh wait, let me turn on the screen. The full screen version of this. All right, yeah. It'll be more like, yeah, this thing right here, which is another part of the overall video. This part right here. This is what I'm trying to do. Because I always think that looks cool, especially in like imagining like the whole augmented reality thing being a real thing in like a cyberpunk future. I mean, we already have stuff that does it, but imagine like it literally just floats out in the middle of somebody's face that everybody can see it. Like that would be interesting to say the least. So I'm gonna start doing this. So let's add in the Space Nice thing, which I don't know if I want to add in Cyberpunk Masked, but this, I believe the Space Knights one is what makes them look more like mech style or something, which I think I kind of want to add in that effect. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly all of the things, the properties of each one. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad start. It still looks a little cartoony right now, but It's not that far off, and because you got this part is kind of starting to look kind of realistic, but right now I'm trying to go for the whole video look instead of the cartoony look. I'm gonna modify this one next. I'm just gonna run this through because I want to see what it does. Because this is kind of what I want them to look. This almost looks like Boba Fett. Like this face, and I think maybe it's the colors too, but this looks kind of like Boba Fett. That part, I don't know. This one almost looks like it doesn't have a head, and it's trying to make it pop up through here. But that's okay. It's an quote-unquote underpainting, so I'm okay with that. Alright, so let's talk about this thing really quick. Since I have something, a handheld video of a realistic night in a bustling and wet Cyberpunk. I don't think wet is necessary for this particular scene. Can't. Wow. I think it's called Orbital Arc. On an orbital arc to the right around the, how do you say, pink-haired android woman. Android woman with pink hair. Pink hair. All the figures are dancing centrally in a rave. I think I should put that later. There. I never like to start all the way over with these prompts, because especially if they're related scenes, because a lot of times there's stuff that worked in the last one that will, you can just make it come over to the next one, which is really good. So this is with that Space Knight thing, or not Space Knight, whatever that thing was called. What is it called again? Yeah, it is called Space Knight. Okay, yeah, that's with that thing. So let me just unload this really quick. Sorry for the back and forth if this is confusing, but again, multitasking is a really big part of getting stuff done, which I have to do a lot of all the time. So now it's cleared. I'm just gonna run this really quick, and everything is in this subgraph, by the way, right in here. That's what it's doing. Go backwards, and let's go back to my video thing. This is right here. Reload this node. I don't know why it does that. It's really weird. Anyways, yeah, okay. Handheld video. Camera rotates on an orbital arc to the right around the android woman with pink hair. All the figures are dancing centrally in a rave. The android woman with pink hair. The movement with, okay. Let me do this with a of music while dancing. This might be an unnecessary thing, but anyways. Woman wearing goggles. Is there a woman wearing goggles in this? There's a guy. Okay. The android in a silver suit. I think that's gonna say that. Let's say the android. Okay. This to me is like a point in the prompt, like identifying what things are and telling it what they are just by description, then saying what they do is like really an important part to me. Because then it really like registers like okay how it's supposed to interpret it. Because if I don't say that, I could say like a silver poncho, it'll like start to render it differently. The the robot. Oh my god, what is wrong with my fingers? In a silver suit. Yes. What are they doing? I don't know. I don't know if it understands that. Okay, service is I think it'd be better to say hugging at the waist. A woman in a pink neon fishnet top at the waist while dancing. I'm saying hugging at the waist because I've known that because I know it worked in a previous prompt. Okay, so this is what it did when it said at night. Can I say do this as a colorized Ted Turner image? I didn't mean take all the color out of it. Well, that's okay. I don't know how I would tell it to put more color back in this, but I think I could just drop this back into the image itself and it'll automatically do that because I think it describes color. I think it describes color in this, right? Neon signs over the head, blue, light blue near the center. But that's me. Neon lit alleyway. It doesn't really talk about colors. Okay, no, it says blue magenta light. Magenta light. Okay, let's just go with that. Let's see what it does. So I'm going to take the output from Flux Context, throw it into here. We don't need to upsize it anymore. And unload models, clear up VRAM, clean just to make sure, and run that again. And I'm going to skip the first pass and just see what it does to this. 73 might be a little bit too much, but let's go with 68. Alright. Back to the club scene prompt, which is this one. Okay, robot wearing goggles and a silver suit is hugging a woman in a pink neon fishnet top at the waist while dancing. In the background there are pulsating lights. A lot of glittery confetti slowly falls down from the ceiling behind the figures. And I'm okay with that. You know what? What if she's not dancing? What if she's jumping rope? What if that's what these things are? The other one had the description of this. Alright, what I'm tell her is a go-go dancer. She's a go-go dancer and then it's with a pink streamer. So this is orange streamers. Okay, let's do this. As she Orange, neon orange streamers. She is holding as jump rope. Is jump rope one word or two? I don't even know. I don't have my spell check thing on anymore. Ever since I had to reinstall my ComfyUI, I forgot what node that was. Or is it? I don't know if it's in the thing. Yeah, a little bit of color came back. Ooh, oh my god, that looks good. The body looks weird, but this is exactly the kind of like mood I was going for. This is why I like doing this. This is exactly why I like doing this image to image to image to image to image thing. Because you can slowly start to turn it into something else and get something better and better as you just slowly add more stuff into it. It's like the whole process of like denoising, right? Just take a little bit of, add a little bit of noise to the last image. That's what you're doing with the image thing. And just saying, okay, now just slightly add more, and just slowly get it to the point. Because I'm going to take this image and just, I'm not even going to do anything different to it. I'm just going to take that image, the output, and drop it back in and see how much difference we start to get without doing anything else. Because that's usually what I do in the other ones. And the more and more I get closer to what I want, the more and more I just turn down the denoise, so it's less modification that's going to happen. But yeah, okay. Is jump rope one word or two? Hey Google, is the word jump rope one word or two?
According to jump rope coach Chris, if a person says they jump rope, the word jump is the active verb, but it is always written as two words since it's technically a contraction of jump over rope.
Okay, thank you Google. I wonder if you guys heard that. Okay, so apparently it's two words. It's always two words. Okay, jump rope. She's holding as jump rope as, yeah, while she jumps rope. I don't know, that's a weird thing to say. Robot wearing goggles. Matter of fact, that's a good thing to test to see if it actually is gonna understand that. The night comes lights flash and shifts and alternating multicolors in a rhythmic manner. Streaks of laser lights scan over the sweaty body, dancing figures. Alright, the woman beside the central figure moves her hands. Okay, now this part is very specific, and it is not related. Yeah, that's that thing where it's like they're kissing them on the neck. That part can go. Okay, I'm okay with the pink smoke and haze engulfing and surrounding them. Okay. Yeah, look at that. The body's starting to look a little bit better. This is really looking, I like this. I like where this is headed. I'm just gonna keep doing this. Just keep feeding this back in. Starting to get just enough like color back. And I might want to do some weird thing where it starts like they're scanning the body or something. Alright, where are we headed? Yeah, we're here. The central figure has a glowing digitized LED face. Okay, yeah, that was the other one, and she doesn't have that. I want to get this like really angry expression, so let's take this off. I don't want to hear this about this part. And then the pink-haired and I always use the same kind of terminology to describe this, that way I know that it's talking about the same thing. An android woman, and then the android woman with pink hair, expression, see, pink. I like to put the haired. What do you call it? The noun that is being modified by, like, right next to this expression suddenly changes to an evil demonic expression. I'm trying to get to pull this off, the like where it actually is like a demonic expression. That one looks so, look, yeah, there's a lot of clarity now. You can see a whole lot more. All right, so I like this. I'm gonna try one more other thing. So go back to here, and I want to add in the faceless android thing to it. Take down Space Knights just a little bit. I don't know how much modification I need to this. And FYI, for those of you who are still using Flux and moving on to like trying to use Flux Crea, the same Flux One dev lures will work with Flux Crea. It's just you may need to change the amount of weight you put on them to make them effectively appear. Just FYI. The main reason I even stick with Flux too is just because there's so many things like this, like lures that have been already created for it. Like when you get something new, you know, you're just counting on the base model all the time, and sometimes that's okay. Other times, I prefer to like really see what else other things can be done. All right, I'm just gonna go with this, and the next thing I'm gonna do is just do a run through of this. So it's not gonna be at 1080p. It's gonna be at 640 by 3060, but I'm still doing 20 steps as it runs through all this, just because I wanted to actually bring out as much as possible of whatever this like image is. I think that's really important to this. So right after this thing is done, I'm just gonna do that and see how far we can keep pushing that. This is still really cool. Like this guy looks almost like a guard now. I should probably. This is where a good thing for flux context, like, or I've never tried this before. Like in-painting for flux context, like targeting a specific thing and saying, okay, change this person's. Like, I don't know, this guy's stuff to like red or something like that, and match it with this guy. So they seem like they're connected to each other. This guy looks kind of shady. Like he's just monitoring them. Like, yeah, you know, as long as they don't find the gun or the drugs on him, we're good. Yeah, okay. It's pretty good. Unload the models, or first clear the execution cache, then unload the models, and then again, in theory that basically cleans the VRAM anyways when you do that, but I'm doing it all the way. And so now I'm just gonna go to this, I'm just gonna run it to see what it comes up with. In this scenario, you definitely want to clear out as much as possible, because this could definitely, switching from like Flux Crea to 1, 2.2 and all that kind of stuff could definitely like mess with the way the model information gets loaded in. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit of wait time to get that done. So while we're doing that, I'm going to turn the music off all the way. I don't know if you can still hear it or not. One of the things that I was doing a lot of, and let's switch it to which one is it? Kdenlive. Yes, Kdenlive is my image editor, or my video editor, which is this thing right here. Okay, so one of the things I was doing was going through this. I don't know if you guys can hear. You can't hear the audio, I don't think. Which I kind of don't want to give it away, because I like the way this audio sounds, but it's actually something I need to do. I kind of need to make it so you can hear the audio because it's something I really wanted to talk about. But this is basically, in theory, how the thing starts. Originally, I was gonna zoom in on this, and I did do an effect where I zoomed in on this, and you can see where I actually did this. Where's that? When I was looking at this right here. So what this was about, all of this stuff right here, was literally about me trying to get. I think I did this in a crappy way at first. Where's the video for this? Did it pop up? I don't think it did. Basically, I was trying to get a control video to do the zoom effect because for whatever reason, the thing didn't want to respond. So this right here is literally something I built into. I just did this in a video editor. All I did was just like do like an image transform thing where you just I took the first frame and you can see like that's why it's like the resolution is not getting clearer because of that. And I just did like this. And by doing this, it would force the zoom in on this part right here. I was originally going to do that. And I might go back to it. By utilizing that and doing that thing I was talking about before with putting the control video into, how you say, where is it? Oh my god. I keep getting lost here. Like putting it in through here. You can't use it on this, on one image to video. You can only utilize it on the other one, which is like, I think I have it on. Did I put the nodes on here? It doesn't really matter. I can just load them up anyways. So like, one Vase has it, where you can have like a control video input. One Fun control has it, and the one where you can have like speech, where it's like one sound thing, that has it as well. Is it one sound image to video? This one has it as well, where you can have like a control video to control this specific thing, and it works the same way like if you had like if you just did it with a DW pose, because I did that before with this specific, in the last tutorial thing I did about the Kokoro TTS thing or text to speech thing, and I talked about how you can utilize another video, like where I did like a zoom in effect in another video and took that as, I took the DW pose reference of it zooming in. It still has the same effect of getting closer to the actual figure, but the difference is if you do it like that, and this is so hard to describe I think without you seeing it visually, but let me see if I can get it. I gotta remember where I put everything. This is not in this folder. This is output. Red Demon Warrior, Cyberpunky. Was it? I don't think it's in demos. Flux context plus first frame, last frame. It wasn't a part of that. God, what did I label this? I don't think I deleted. I think it might be in general output though. Medieval times. I think I didn't put this in a proper folder, which I should have. Yeah, this is like all over the place now. Let's see. Oh no. Flux context composite. I don't know. I don't remember exactly where it is. At any rate, it'd take me forever. I don't want to like waste a whole bunch of time looking for something, and I don't even know where I'm even looking anymore. Oh wait. Is it sound? No. I don't know. Anyways, the idea is that when you do this, when you like make it so there's a way you can zoom in, right, on something. If it's DW pose and you zoom in, it's literally like a camera zoom in. Like when you camera zoom in on something, it focuses on the figure, but the background won't change. So it's like you're literally just like doing a lens shift or something, right? Versus if you do it with the depth anything thing, like I was trying to show with this, with this right here, when you do it with this, it literally does zoom in the entire frame because the background comes with it. So that might be useful in some degree of doing it that way, but the limitation is that you have to have, I think, the steps high enough for it to listen to it, so that way the actual animations like this stuff, which is what I described, will actually show up. Otherwise it won't show up right, which is like really kind of important because then you're limited because the control video is like too strong or something. But all of these things, like right here, I have like one of this scanning. Here, let me tweak the audio thing really quick so that way you guys can probably hear this. I think if I turn on this one, maybe you can hear the audio from the desktop. Yeah, that's the real one. I still need to do frame interpolation on this one. And then I just like usually like I leave like a keyframe in there for like a placeholder till I figure out exactly what this frame. It probably won't look exactly like this one, but I'll utilize something like this, and then I'll move on to the next part. Which let's see. I have a whole lot of blank spots in there because I'm really just still working out everything. There's another one. So this is, let's see. Let me move this around here. So that's a placeholder frame. This is that kind of like club scene thing. So originally the style was gonna look like this. This is probably gonna be cut, because this is more like cartoony looking, and I want it to be more like a video look. And this is another placeholder keyframe right here. Well, I love this person in the background more than anything else. I like this thing, and they're like really being active. But this person in the background is the most fun thing to me. Because I was like, they're creepy looking, but they're also like fun at the same time. This still needs, this is I think the less, this has not been upscaled or frame interpolated to like 32 frame rate either, even though the workflow is around 32 frame rate. Because again, a lot of what I do in this format is really just trying to figure out what everything looks like, and then I go back and then redo it again. So one of the things I was working on a lot was this part right here. Because this part, I did several different like work throughs of this. This is actually a lore. This person, this is that hold on, let me put on the freaking big screen again. That folder. Oh my goodness. Everything's loading slow. I got too much going on. It must be loading the model right now. That's why it's probably taking so long. Either that, or I'm about to glitch and have technical difficulties. Yes, output folder's too big. I gotta start deleting some more of these folders. Hold on a second. Let me take off the, because it might be too the big screen. When I turn on the big screen, it kind of eats away at everything. But I think it is actually loading a model right now. Let me make sure. Yep, that's exactly what it's doing. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. All right, let me. I think it's ready now, though. I can turn the big screen back on. Okay, where are we going? All right, on where is it? Because this character, as you can see, like I'm going through this manipulation of this character on multiple times right here. I think it's A Pink. Yeah, this one. The A stands for Alyssa, but I just randomly named it that. But it's based on this character here. So this character is a character thing, and I did. I don't know if this is the official lore training for it. It probably isn't, but it's based upon a bunch of images that I compiled together of this person. So this is an actual lore I trained, so that way I could utilize them over and over again because I wanted to utilize them for this particular series. That's why they have the same freaking outfit on. But this one I decided to add in a scar, and I did that in that whole brainstorming workflow because I kind of wanted to add them some more character, and because mostly I was focused on making this bike design because I thought this bike looked really cool. But this particular scene, another reason why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to be. Firstly, I was messing around with this whole, again, that hovering holographic thing right here, and I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay, that sound of like the motorcycle actually like moving. That's actually my motorcycle. That's the sound that it makes, um, and because I didn't want to try to like generate that via the actual doing because I know they have something like called like MMA, audio that I think allows you to make like sound effects based upon the image itself. I haven't worked with that yet, but maybe I'll try to see what it does, and maybe I'll layer it over with the actual motorcycle sound. But it was just quicker to just like utilize an actual sound, and I basically timed it so that way when this thing drops in RPMs, you can hear it. So it sounds like it's working with the whole thing, specifically. But there's another part to this that I want to do of her driving away. So the first 5 seconds is her driving towards us, and then it swing around to them driving away. And it's probably just going to be a jump cut. I'm probably not going to try to actually do a swing around motion, even though that would be cool. Maybe a first to last frame thing in between, I can maybe pull that off, but I'm more concerned with that. So the idea is that what I want to do is basically take the last frame from here, or even just like somewhere in the middle, like right here or something like that. One of these frames, or I could just take the original keyframe from this, which is basically the first frame of this. The original keyframe of this, take that, and then tell Flux Context spin it around to see what they look like from a rear view, and then take that as like the exit from them going to wherever they're going. That's what I want to do. Hopefully I can pull that off. I don't know if I don't think you need the LoRa like loaded into it to make that work. I hope you don't. Here, let me switch the audio back because I don't know if I sound weird like this. Is it yes this one? Yeah. Okay. Because I don't know how much background noise is popping up when I did that. But anyways, yeah, I want to be able to do that. Like, to me, that's the simplest solution to be able to get the continuity between the scene, utilizing Flux Context to generate something that's kind of the same scene, and then I can get the same character. And because they're viewed from, it would be viewed from like a rear view. I don't have to worry about like identifying factors of like this person who they are. It just has to look like the similar scene, and it's pretty quick because they're gonna be driving away, and that's the only thing I want because I feel like extending that will make this really good. Because especially since I want to practice utilizing this same character over and over again, because I really want to make a storyline in this world about this character. That's why I created them in the first place, and I like their cool new scar. Anyways, let's go back. Are we finished? Oh, we are. It did output something. Okay. So, yeah, it didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Because I didn't tell it to jump rope. I didn't tell them to jump rope, but it is doing the orbital arc thing where it's like moving around in a circle. So it did follow the camera movement that I was talking about. But I don't. Should I just say jumping rope, like comma jumping rope? Neon streamers. Okay. How about I just call it jump rope? Like, I don't. It don't have to be streamers. Like, why do I have to make a jump ropes? She is jumping rope. Why does that sound weird to me? It just sounds weird to say. She's jumping rope. She's jump roping. She's jump roping? Or is it she's jumping rope? She's jump roping. I think it's jump roping. Hey Google, is jump roping one word? How do you spell jump roping?
According to jump rope coach Chris, put simply, jump rope just isn't a word. If a person says they jump rope, the word jump is the active verb, but it is always written as two words since it's technically a contraction of jump over rope.
Okay, yeah. Hey Google, I don't even know where you are. What the heck? Yeah, I can't even read. Alright, forget it. She is jumping rope. Jumping roping. Alright. Yeah, let's just say that. She's jumping rope. I'm gonna do that again. It shouldn't take as long because we don't have to load all the models in this time, but it's still gonna take a little minute. But yeah, the whole camera rotates on an orbital arc to the right around the android woman with pink hair. So to the right. Is it orbiting to the right? It is. It is moving to the right. Well, it feels like it is. But she's like keeps facing us. I think that's what makes it look weird. But it is moving around to the right. So that's all working out fine. Even with this low grade quality of it, it's still doing what we want to do. The question is, will it maintain that integrity as we like increase the resolution value of it? And I feel like it's gonna need more than 20 steps to do that for some reason. But yeah. Oh wait, God, I gotta take off the full range. Yeah, it's gonna make it skip. Hold on. There we go. That's why I was looking all choppy. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's not jumping rope, and I think it's because I told it that they're streamers, and I probably should have said using streamers as jumper. Oh my god, using streamers as. Did I say that? Maybe I did say that. Either way, it's not really working out. The confetti stuff is showing up. The smoky haze stuff is showing up. I feel like it's replicating that metal suit guy though as it flips around. Yeah, it is doing that. We'll see what that turns into, but I don't know how maybe that description doesn't work out well when you're doing this orbital arc thing. At any rate, I want to see what this freaking evil face looks like, because it looks like it wants to do it at the end here. Alright. These don't make any sense. But I'm going to say gradually. I don't even want suddenly. I want gradually. An evil expression while jumping rope? Is that something that some people do? That would be weird. Jumping rope is like a happy thing to do. Why would someone's expression turn to... Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's weird. Whatever. I don't know if I wanted to do that, but I also want to see what it's gonna do. At any rate, where were we? Yeah, I was just talking about the video. Yeah, but I do want to utilize flux context for that. So let's see if we can find her original image. I think it's probably one of these outputs I had in that folder. you guys can't see it, I'll take it off. Yeah, it's this one right here. Because originally, yeah, she didn't have a scar, and I added in the scar. So this was the original like keyframe that I produced, and I just kept trying to edit it. Oh, not that way. This one I wanted to do, because this was like so cool to me, but it also is not so realistic looking. But I just like this character so much. But anyways, yeah, this is the one. So this one, I'm gonna drop this into flux context. So let's go to simple flux context here, and I don't know what the good wording for this is. I don't even know. Oh man, how long have we been streaming? We're getting close to like the 2 hour mark, I think. Rotate the angle of view to view the rear, a rear perspective of the figure on the motorcycle. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know that that's a great way to say it. By 180 degrees, I don't know. That might be a little bit too descriptive. I don't know. I'm always wondering how much, because they say you should say like really straightforward and simple with flux context, but I'm not really even sure. Alright, it's already on a low advanced one already. While we're doing that, I want to see more about this thing, the keyframing for this. This is more like law enforcement here. Oh, this one. That's paramedic. So I'm just really like thinking about like sourcing images to like talk about a scene more rather than trying to like figure out how to like do it myself. Does it really know how to identify the difference of this in the... Let's see. Well, I have a free account on this Flux prompt thing, so it may or may... Or not a Flux prompt, on ChatGPT, so I don't know if I reached my limit on how many things it can describe. This image as a Flux prompt. Oh, it did. Yeah, look, it automatically did it as a freaking cyberpunk aesthetic. I didn't even tell it to. Wait, is it? Oh my god, I don't think it actually. It's pierced by a colossal planet storming storm. What? That's not the image at all. Okay, it did. It had an error or something. What the heck was that? Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, it did not describe that image at all. I think the file format screwed with it. Yeah, it's talking. What is it even saying? It's a massive building. A dark sky appears by a colossal planet with swirling storm bands resembling Jupiter. Yeah, it's talking about a previous image that I gave it. And this is not that. Oh well. I don't feel like trying to get that actual image right now. Let's move on. This one is law enforcement. This thing. Hopefully nothing really graphic shows up. that would suck. Maybe I should do this. Turn on like safe search or something when I do this. I like the gas mask thing. Alright, I don't know, it's not necessarily a gas mask, but anyways. Yeah, I don't think it's not taking this. Capturing human struggle in distressed city environment. Maybe it's. Is this an alleyway scene? Yeah, it does look like an alleyway. Okay. Does it talk about the guy having a gas mask? Emergency responders coded was responsible. Harassing dark areas with glows. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look like it's specific to this image. This is why I can't trust ChatGPT, man. I don't think this thing's even like literally I could just say wearing a freaking gas mask and it like would work better. Whatever. Alright, it looks like the rendering is done. Alright, let's oh crap, I can't refresh it. Because I ran it again already. Hold on a second. Yeah, it switched the prompt up. The output didn't show up like it was supposed to. Because I switched screens, I think. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the actual output. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me pull up the big screen. Okay. Actual output is here. And it's already freaking. I think my GPU is just maxed out because of this full screen thing. Yeah, I'm going to switch this to the viewpoint like that. Alright, so now put it up. So yeah, she is jumping rope in this one. This is the actual output that was supposed to be for the test. Oh my god, hold on. Image your. I don't have one for VLC. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm just gonna switch this one. this way, it should show up. Right? Alright, I thought it would show up. It's not showing up for some reason. There we go. Okay. And yeah, so this is the actual output that it just did. So she is actually jumping rope um, with the neon thing. So that did work, and it's still rotating around the arc. I don't know about the face thing though. The face thing might not work because it doesn't even show up at all in this like run through. And I don't remember what I changed. What did I change up? I think, yeah, I changed it to gradually changes to an evil demonic expression. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna show up at all because in the previous one, yeah, like you said, this thing face just shifts automatically to this sudden change of the demonic expression, or I guess that's supposed to be a demonic expression. I don't know. The resolution is so low, I don't know what it would do in the regular one, but if not, I'll just make it like some other expression that's less crazy or something. I don't know. I probably should have just skipped this run through because I knew it actually did. I still can't skip it, but now I kind of want to see what it's gonna do. But anyways, yeah, this particular workflow. Oops, not that. This is what I really want to do, is see if I can get this thing to shift this around, because I really want to see how effective it is at shifting around the perspective of an image, because that would make a whole lot easier utilizing, even if I did want to make it seamless, utilizing like first frame to last frame in between it. It again allows me to have a lot of continuity. Continuity is the biggest thing. I really want to solve that issue when it comes to everything in the open source world. Having good continuity all the way through means like you can have a consistent, concept, consistent character. Like even one of the main reasons why I didn't add too many modifications to her face is I don't know that I can duplicate it every time the same way. Like I wanted to put like circuitry and stuff on her face, but I feel like every time I would try to produce it in the AI, it would come up and show up a little bit differently. So I've decided to not do that. Oh, here, am I in the right point of view? Yeah, let's just turn this off. Alright. Oh, you know what? Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about the freaking music. Oops. Alright. Where are we at on here? And it's just now loading into it. But I might like kind of end the stream here. Not a lot of traffic today on this stream, so the point of it is to get the Q&A. But if there's not any questions that I can answer live, it's not too much I'm showing you other than just literally me doing this live. May be helpful to some people, but other people not so much. Man, I like this one. I gotta do this. I'm stuck on this club scene right now, guys, because I'm really infatuated by the results I can get with this, despite the fact that I have to move on. It's only gonna be like for I think a few seconds of the video, but yeah, I love all the details. The way this character looks is so cool. This has not even been refined yet, and it looks so cool to me. Even more so than this one. Like, I like this one a little bit more. I mean, I like the arms and the brassiere on this one, and I love this guy back here. But you know, there's just something about this. This is the part I like. If I can get the details to show up on this part, this like metallic jaw thing, just that would be so freaking beautiful. Man, I gotta go back to this prompt. Well, you know what we should do? We should go back to the other prompt before it. Not so hard to do, just drop it in here. And maybe oh my god, this one's good too. Oh man, look at this guy. So many of these I like. That's not bad either. That's the one the original I like. Really. Look at this one. Oh my god. It's too many good frames of this one particular shot that I really like. Alright, now where's the other one at? But this one right here is just, this is like gotta be my favorite. I don't know. It's my favorite till it isn't. Because at first that other one was my favorite, and now this one's nice too. Look at that. Look at that. This literally, like, the structure of this, like the characters in this one look really good too. This guy's basically like a different version of this one. Like it's supposed to look more like this one, because I want this head to be slightly bigger. But her here, this guy here, it's just so cool. It doesn't really say much about like what's happening here, but because I don't feel like there's not enough like background characters, but man, Chrome Dome. Yeah, I really like the one with the tutu. In there. Look at this thing. Look at this guy. Look at this. Ooh. I might just try to snatch this character out of the scene and just put them somewhere else. That's just cool by itself. Yeah, this one, like this face looks so really intriguing. This one too. This is just like, this is like really like, this freak you out if you saw something like this in reality. That was not bad. It just needs like some clearing up on the other things. I don't know what this one is. Yeah, I think the ram's head shows up a little bit better. Alright, the output's about to come out here. Alright, so let's see what it came up with. So yeah, they're doing the jump rope thing. It looks like it's moving backwards, though. It just rotated backwards. Yeah, it doesn't show me if the expression is actually going to change, or if it recognizes that expression change in any of these. That's why I'm skeptical that the actual final video output will actually do it. Because the whole point of me doing this low resolution thing is to try to make sure that I have like proof of concept that something will show up. If it won't show up in the smaller version, it probably won't show up in the big version, or at least there's no telling whether it will. But all this other stuff, the confetti and the smoke and everything like that, that shows up here. I know it's going to show up in the actual higher resolution version. And the jumping rope thing shows up, despite the fact that it looks weird here. Like, that's kind of normal, because if you look at like some of the other ones that I have on the Discord, it's the same thing where it's like, where's it? I think it's in the general chat thing. Was it here? I thought it was here. I gotta swear I put it here. Because forwarding doesn't move it, right? Maybe it is in here. Oh, I think it was one of these. I don't think I uploaded it though. Alright, so yeah, like this, right? So notice how like this character on the right, how they kind of like do that weird shift around thing like that. Alright, so this is that same, this one right here, this is the same one, but just at a higher resolution, I think. Yeah, same thing at a higher resolution, and that doesn't happen. Like, they don't switch around like that, but it still has that same like kind of jumps in, like the zoom in thing. That still happens. So this is like proof of concept that they're dancing and all this kind of stuff, blah blah blah. And this thing right here where I had like the waveform thing, that's part of the prompt too. I made that part of the prompt, and it shows up here too. So like the smoky haze thing shows up. So I don't necessarily know that when they do this little turnaround thing on here. Let me just unload the stuff really quick, because I'm not gonna do that final output, but at least not on live. Just because like it's going and rotating around at first, going the way it's supposed to go, and then it just shifts back. Or actually it shifts the wrong way at first, like going to the left, and then now it goes back to the right. I don't know that it's actually going to do that in the actual final output at the higher resolution, but again, at least I know that it's trying to follow it. And from the other ones, again with the same seed, just a difference in prompt, from the other like proof of concept at lower resolutions, it's not doing that here. Oop, let me put the big screen on. See, this is without me telling it to jump rope, right? It's going around in the one direction it's supposed to, and it looks like it does the evil face thing on this one, but it doesn't seem to actually do that on the one where I did tell it to like do the jump rope. Like, it just seems like it doesn't. It's gonna ignore that, but I don't know. So I'm probably gonna run it just to see what it does. And then of course this is the last prompt we just did, where we changed it to gradually change to an evil expression. But yeah, it doesn't make sense though. Maybe that's why it can't do it, because it knows like that doesn't make sense. Who would have an evil expression while jumping rope? I guess as in a horror movie. But I do think this is gonna look interesting no matter what. But anyways, clean up the view run really quick. I want to see if we can flip around this image right here, so we can see if we can get, I don't know if that prompt is good enough to flip this around, but to see if I can actually get this thing to give me the other perspective of this, so I can have another keyframe to do the rest of the video for this, because I want to swing around. Where is it? Is it 37? It's 37 or 38. Yeah, I want to swing around this to the other perspective so I can get her driving away. If I can do that, then I know that I have like a really cool shot. Like, I don't know if it'll be a jump cut or it'll be like a cutaway and then cut right back to them like driving away, but that'll be a cool effect. I just gotta see if I can pull that off, because that would make this a whole lot, the process of making this and extending this a whole lot easier, rather than just doing it in like 2.2 or something, which I probably could do. I don't think it would be that difficult to extend the frame of this utilizing basically the last frame of this thing. And if I just utilize the last frame of this and then tell it what I want to do, because again, I could tell it to rotate around the frame, but just like when Jason was here, the user that was online before, when we talked about this idea of like, you know, controlling the camera movement consistently, it's better if we have like this whole point type of thing. So that's the one thing, again, probably the next time we talk, and I'll probably do like maybe a formal tutorial if we actually figure it out. I could do like a formal tutorial of how to use that, because I know it can be done, but can you do it consistently across many different concepts to be able to control the, not just where the character goes, but how the camera moves in a very precise manner. Like if you just the things we're like doing right now, where like I'm going back and forth and I'm just trying to like, okay, can I get it to like do this one specific thing, and know that if I just tell it this one, do this one little change, it'll pop up. Like right now it's like the whole expression thing or the jumping rope, but even like that thing where the camera arc where it wraps around, it didn't seem like it did it exactly the same way the next time around, despite the fact that I didn't change that part of the prompt. You know, the whole neural network thing where it's just like it kind of figures out what you want it to do. That right there I think is kind of problematic at times, because if I can't consistently get it to do what I want it to do, then you know there's the fun of that again, like right now when I'm brainstorming. But when you want a finalized piece or a finalized piece of work, that won't do so well. And as the more and more I do stuff now, I'm trying to push further and further to finalizing what I'm doing, to make it a finalized piece of work rather than just the brainstorming part. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna go utilize older methods of just like, you know, the whole video editing, image editing stuff to get that. This one, oh my god, this one looks good too. Jeez. Here, turn on the image viewer thing so this thing doesn't lag so much. But yeah, like this one's really good. I don't think I even need the image viewer. Yeah, turn that off. Is this thing off to the side? I think it's off to the side. Is that? Oh no, we're good. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, turn that off. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. But oh, look. It kind of did what I wanted to do, but not really. I needed to flip the bike around, and they look very, very a lot shorter in this thing. Of the figure, maybe, and the motorcycle, not on the motorcycle. But it still didn't do exactly what I want to do. I want of the entire scene. Yeah. I don't know. This might be asking too much of it. It'd be nice if it can do this, but I don't know if it can switch the entire perspective of the scene. Because yeah, I think what is in theory, if I could get it to just flip around and go this other way, right? Let's say I could get this bike to go flip around and go the other way, and the perspective of everything else stays the same. I could literally flip this thing on the horizontal, the whole entire image on the horizontal, and then worry about shifting this part, like just changing the background to different buildings or a different viewpoint, you know, maybe out to sea as she crosses over the bridge. Yeah, that's, I think, another solution to this. If I can't get it to flip the entire scene, which I kind of feel like that's asking too much of this thing. I don't think it's that brilliant. I really don't. I don't have faith in it, and I don't think the AI's gotten that far yet, where we can just do, like, flip the entire scene to different perspective. This is pretty interesting too. I can't get over this one. I can't get over this. Is too good to me. This is just really too good to me. There's something about this is just so freaking cool. I like this one. This character right here. Yeah, this is when I think I originally was. The idea was that they just had like something over their mouth, and then I wanted this kind of a ram head minotaur character. That looks cool by itself. Like her eyes are like not eyes, but they're like this weird rainbow effect thing. Like is this is like images that are just like kind of distorted. They're still very interesting. Yeah, it can't do that. It's trying to do it, but it's like no, we don't understand. Yeah, it doesn't know how to do that. Okay, flip. How about let's try one more different word. Flip. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't think I don't have faith in this. I don't have any faith that this will actually like show up the way I want it to show up or the way I think it'll show up. I have a feeling like this is just not gonna pan out at all. So the short version is I gotta probably do this just via Allura or something like that, or I can try to see if Quinn Image Edit can do it too. But after this, I'm just gonna go ahead. It's been like 2 hours, and I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. Not much traffic today. Still trying to again figure out when is the best time and hours to stream stuff, and I'm gonna do it multiple times at different times a day. I'm thinking about midday is the best time of day, but again, there's too many people from different hemispheres, so trying to figure out when you guys are online is really difficult for me. At any rate, if you want to see more of this, let me or at least like on your own time. Here's the Discord thing. I gotta get the Discord share in here. Put that in the link in the chat for the Discord, so that way you guys can join that to actually like talk to me more, and especially like literally like one-on-one, or maybe in a group depending on how many people are there. Discord is in the chat, the link to it in the chat. So like I can really like have that Q&A thing, because literally a voice chat channel is like general inquiries about whatever your issue might be. I gotta freaking solve this one. I don't think we're there yet on this reference latent stuff to be able to just do this like really easily, but literally just changing the perspective of one image and having it one as a reference could do a whole lot of stuff. If this just could be resolved, man, it would go so far. But I don't think oh crap. It kind of did something like that. It literally just flipped the image. It flipped the image and made them closer. Oh, wait a minute. That might be half the battle though. So now, even though the rain is the rain gonna be an issue? The direction of the rain might be an issue. But technically, if now all I have to do is flip them on the motorcycle, right? I think that's it. If I flip them on the motorcycle, then it's as if they're driving away. Flip the perspective of the figure and the motorcycle by 100. Jeez. Oh, wait. Maybe this. Wait. Flip the perspective of the figure and the motorcycle to a rear view. Maybe? Maybe that'll work. I don't even know. I don't know. I still feel like it's not gonna do it. Anyways, I think that is half the battle though. If I could just flip the motorcycle around, if it knows that, you know, that would be like that would be the end of it. Because like the rain is moving in like this direction and this, right? So if we flipped it around, it would be moving the other direction. Yeah, that would be an issue. It wouldn't make sense. Yeah, people are paying attention. If people are actually paying attention, yeah, the direction of the rain wouldn't make sense. Because it's supposed to be shifted the other way then. And it's supposed to be moving this down the other way. That I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna be able to do. I don't have enough faith in it to understand like rain droplets, shifting in rain droplets. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Because now if it could do that, if it could flip the rain droplets, I don't know why it couldn't. I don't know how complex it understands this thing. Like, could it know? Does it realize that that's a motorcycle? Does it realize that? I feel like it should. I know it can realize a rear view perspective of the character, but for all I know, it could just like have him driving into the wall. All right. Well, one thing is for sure, it does understand 180 degrees. That's a good thing to know. It also had the other issue of like this building already being here. Yeah, you still have a lot to change. Oh well. Even if it does be able to do this, which is the biggest part of this issue of this, we would still have to change the background a bit. But I think that's the easiest thing to solve. The hardest part is the figure itself. Yeah, it's not flipping it. At least not like I want it to do. I don't even know what it's doing here. It does look nice though. And I think it does recognize that it is a motorcycle. Yeah, but I don't know how this is a rear view. Maybe it's a view from behind. About 180 degrees. I think that maybe that'll do something. I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I'm just like trying to figure out how. I'm still trying to figure out which one's better because I did test Quinn Image Edit against Flux Prompt and they still both seem limited, or the Flux Context. They both seem so limited in the things that they recognize, especially when it comes to like color. Like sometimes I just say like change the color of this, and they both seem kind of like iffy at it. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, if it works, I'll probably just put it in the Discord. If it doesn't work, yeah, well, it won't be in the Discord. I'll talk about some other way that I made this happen. But that being said, the link to the Discord should be in the description. It should be in the chat. I don't know. So please join the Discord if you want to just, hang out, talk with me more directly about the stuff that I'm doing, or if you just have stuff that you want to talk about that you're doing, share stuff, all that good stuff like that. I'm just usually, when I'm online, hanging out there in the voice chat. At least I have it in the background, so if you just log in, I'll just probably turn on my mic and start talking to you. But after this output comes out as negative, because I don't think it's gonna actually do that. What I think is what I wanted to do. I'm gonna end the stream there. For the guys who dropped in, thanks for watching. Oh my God, it flipped it around. Oh, wow. Okay, it did work, kind of. It doesn't really look that nice, but I can work with this. It didn't change. Did it change the color of the boots? It didn't. I want those boots to be a different color. I could change that if I wanted to, but that's okay. It actually flipped it around. Not exactly how I wanted it to. I don't like this freak. I need a tail tidy on this for all you motorcycle riders out there. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't like this at all. This is not Cyberpunk. This is stock. So is this freaking. Oh my God. So is this exhaust. But that's pretty nice. That's not bad. I didn't think it could do it. Now I just got to flip the rain around and mess with the background. Okay. Great way to end. Great way to end the stream, I guess, with success and not, hopeless, hopelessness and dystopia like the cyberpunk universe I'm trying to create. But yeah, I hope you guys, enjoy the stream. If you are watching, please don't be afraid to actually type something in the live chat, especially if you have a question or something like that. Because that's what this live streaming format is really about. It's really just about actually making contact and touching base with you guys a little bit easy. It's a little bit easier for me too, because I can just talk, and maybe your question is some question that somebody else already has about this. So don't think there's any stupid questions. There really isn't, especially with this AI stuff, because as advanced as it's getting, we're still in the infancy of this whole thing. It has not been around that long for what it is. It's just the technology moves really fast. When you have a whole bunch of open source people working at the same time, the truth of the matter is, it's not really the corporations, I think, that's really pushing this really fast. It's the open source community that's doing it, because there's so many people experimenting with so many things at once, and they know that. That's the reason why you have these companies like Black Forest Labs and stuff really allowing their stuff to be open source, so that way they see what we want to do, and that's how they build their products, off of what we want to do and what we keep pushing. And so yeah, the way we decide to do things in the open source world, I think really helps to get stuff done, and that's why it's moving so fast. If it wasn't, I think that's the main reason why that freaking meta thing, that whatever that freaking, they were trying to make some weird 3D world thing that Facebook was doing, why that crap didn't work was because it wasn't really open source, and you didn't get the community or the people who might be interested in this thing that we thought was going to be like that freaking movie. Was it Spielberg movie? Ready Player One. We thought it was going to be something like that they were trying to build, but it was nothing anywhere near like that. So yeah, it's the open source world that makes this stuff move so fast, because so many people are doing so many different things at once, and so many ideas floating around. So when you have a question about something, it actually helps push certain things further and further. Just like the guy who was in the chat earlier. He's helping me think about a whole nother way of solving these problems. But anyways, gonna end the stream there. Again, I hope whatever I did do in this live stream was informative, helpful, and eye-opening to some degree. And again, join the I don't know if this is TOS or not. I really don't know, but I probably shouldn't be showing it on the live stream on YouTube. But yeah, if you have any thing you want to talk about, join the Discord. You can also, do stuff on Patreon as well. That's where I have a lot of my workflows up. And yeah, have a great day, guys.